So, thank you for your entertaining, meaningful presentation. As a true Buddhist, I don't want to use all this paraphernalia. We should meditate and think. No need to translate my talk because I will speak in hybrid language, a little bit Tibetan, a little bit English. I really have nothing much to say, although there are many. I read so many books, but it's too long. Ta tangpo nganzo di rembe sowa sina chik jabdwa sustainable lifestyle se di ta junchungi junchang tuye ki sowa kandi che gore se keja di he yungdu ta nganzo tengsa mangpo chi ki yarje tango res ta kale jago res yarje tangna yarje la tayo ma res ta dog res ti labgyo ta nujabe ki ta nguzo ma wasu ki labi sobo chik re de yarji tangore se di yarji tangye de nangsim ki yarji tangore sego marwa tandi chingubo yarji tangore sego rwa jakab susu ina ya lo re ge yungbab de lo takbar ki yarji dogore sego re di ngune samlo yakbo tangwa ina shira chome weke che chado yore kansa na chingubo yarji tangye singe chingubo digi ji hingna ina re terga ina re cho ina re dosu sangma chechen re cheme mare 세진직이 ngobo직네 세맥이 열기 간데서 로 세진직네 세맥이 열기로 매선 제벌 때네 다단도 세진기 ngo보디게 때가이나래 싱나이나래 추이나래 디게 타마도 쪽부찬 당 배디 시부직 야서 첨부인 열기 요새서 디조나라야 추통에 추디 쪽봐 양무비에게 롱데 쪽봐 드리샤도다 근데 저도 다 다른 게 싫어 해 먹고 괜찮아 이렇게 좀 먹고 싫어라 해 먹고 괜찮아 다른 게 하고 또 베지도 와 제도 당아도 강에디 가리토는 연구 열어서나 강에디 미소수기 잘라 가린 죽도 제대 맞지 뭐보 가린 요다면요 디 타주 제 라완디 가도 소설 요말 라서 야메나 디 타주 제라 추기 냠레 이나리 야나 곰 냠레 이나리 도중 초기 이나리 섬로 망고 있다니 다 릭소 디자민 다 먹었어 타주 제지 지주밀레와 나히 되고 말이데 갈라 가다 타주 제지 누바여로 땡가도 왕철 누바디요 말에 다 가리 뇨다 메뇨 샤모 가리 교한다 메고 주다 가리 교한다 메고와 지 강박 간데 지나래 데데메데 상와 컴퍼니 두zu 타주 제고 그래 캡다 타주 제고 그래 아니 컴퍼니 두zu 가리라와다 캡다 가리체바 디젤랑도 또 저는 뇨네 베데다 추속과 친유메 다게 여마레 룽속과 친유메 다게 여마레다 딘데 제제다 가도 문에서네 깔레 하고 휴지 샤도요 락바르도 단도 잠블링 디 나올로기 지가 뭐보다 지가 세제되네 세맥이 배에 섬로다네 코리우다 상말은 냠녀지 속바단 등에 망쇼데 야급 추효 인생에 드서래 미나네는 미벤주로 체효 드서 속바속인 상마 그저 배조단 거래. 민염중 두석이 기다 여말에 그저 니바 닝제 주잘라 뉴에기 니바 여말에 소보소에기 니바 여말에 다 노중 쪽이 춘에 메딩에 두석이 소보소 그러다 당부시나. 다 두석은 가도기 왕도 규르트웨기 니바 여말다. 강에 뒤차더다. 그게 막부시나 마시나. So the point that I'm making is that when we talk about a sustainable lifestyle, this should be reflected against the notion that you should make as much progress as possible. Sky is the limit. Go ahead. That is our tendency when it comes to material development. And every country talks and thinks about that the country's GDP or NDP, whatever, should increase every day. Not thinking, not realizing the source from which you're going to make the development is physical and material. Material, physical resources are, by definition, limited resources. How are you going to make unlimited progress from limited resources? You're going to kill the environment, deplete the natural resources. That is the tragedy that we are facing. To make the matter worse, When we talk about adopting a sustainable lifestyle, individuals should have that capacity to decide when to stop, when to say no. They should have some sense of contentment, enough is enough, things like that. But unfortunately, majority of us don't decide what we should be buying, we should be buying from the market. What kind of caps you should buy, what kind of shoes you should wear, what kind of shirt you should wear. These are all decided by the company, the market. You go to these shops and sheepishly, I call it shopping coma. And with this shopping coma, in a almost like a zombie, you just buy one free, okay? Right? So in this way, we are not necessarily bad, but we don't have the data, we don't have the proper information, we don't have the inner conviction. So therefore, we become a slave to the material greed. As Mahatma Gandhi said, there is enough for everybody's need, not enough for everybody's greed. And it is the greed that is destroying everything. And much of the destruction of the environment is done by the rich countries, by the rich people. I don't have to really explain about all this. That is one point that we need to think. The second point that we need to think is, recently I was giving a talk to a group of end of last year, I give a talk to a group of Iranians here in Dharamsala. So I spoke about the same topic. There was a gentleman who said, you don't have to worry about this, now we have science and technology. Yes, true, science and technology made some contribution, but the impact, the negative impact, I think, is more than the positive impact. As you mentioned, the genetic engineering, cloning, I mean, these are really risky. And it looks like because of our lifestyle, there's no option left. Because the population is increasing, demand is more, greed is more, so you need so many productions. The only way is to use technology to produce as much as possible, not seeing how good the quality is. I mean, think about cloning. If you produce a child through cloning, who is father, who is mother? There's no physical father, no physical mother. So many issues like that, This is such a topic, which really needs... I'm really thankful, Karma, for giving me this topic. That inspired me to do more work on this so that we can publish more, clear-cut, explained books so that we are able to contribute towards developing some kind of awakening. So that is the problem. So therefore, the Buddhist solution, I need to say a few words from Buddhism. In the Buddhist text, number one, unless you become a person who cares more about others than oneself, if you don't have that, solution is not possible. If you think, I need this, it's all for me, I don't care about the environment, okay. This is not my responsibility. Let others go to wherever they want to go, That's the problem. So therefore, in the Buddhist text, especially in Abhidharma, it's clearly mentioned about the destructiveness of obsession with the sensual objects. It says, for example, wild animal like a deer, with its attachment to the sound, music. In ancient times, the deer is very attached to the music, and then the hunter plays the music, goes there, and caught there, trapped, just having attachment to the sound. Similarly, just because of attachment to the touch, an elephant is enslaved. If you massage and touch the elephant, it lies down, then human beings chain the elephant and enslave it, just to the touch. Then because of attachment to the form, a butterfly dies in the butterlame. Seeing the butterlame as a beautiful mansion, goes there and dies. And then the taste. A fish is caught by the bat, piece of meat that is there, just by the taste. Then the house flies and others, they are excessively attached to the smell, and they get stuck there, and hundreds and thousands dies there. And then it says, look, with just one attachment to one of the sensual objects, you can lose your life. Now, how about human beings? We are attached to all the five sensual objects. Almost like hopeless. And this also reminded me one quotation from Nagarjuna in his letter to the friend. Mini yangda nyidu midishing, mida dami meza rigbarji, tema nyavar masha namji ni chinchi loshitawa pungchol was. And that stanza says, human beings are truly not well at all. Because number one, impermanent. And number two, selfless. Number three, impure. And number four, not well. So therefore you need to be mindful. You need to meditate. Because if you go to the wrong way, seeing impermanent as permanent and things like that, this is relevant here. Because nobody thinks about dying. I need this swimming pool, I need this house, So therefore, if you go into the wrong, the perverse way of thinking, this is source of your ruination. So therefore, what is really important is contentment, moderation, simplicity. This is not to say don't enjoy life, but how much you can enjoy. There's another Buddhist quotation, beautiful quotation there, where he addresses the king by saying, "Oh king, you are very wealthy right now, but you did not bring this wealth from your previous life. And when you die also, you are not going to take all this wealth with you. So why don't you share? And why don't you have some contentment and moderation?" These are beautiful, beautiful teachings, right? So therefore, the point that I really want to make is, it is this unchecked greed, unchecked desire. Towards an object which has limitation, material objects. Ta nangshu ne sheba nangshe chena ngune yarje tang ko sa de simge yarje tang la tha me ban doye yore. Tela dovjung choshi te yarje peju tang ge me wache. Ro ta se yogen ta yogen zogju yoden de la dovju choshi me wache. Kapji kolor chaza. Chidu ta ngadu nangshu na ne sheba nangshe chena jisamji rangi semla tese yarab chosan da sudim da nga se de dese nyungru ta yenda tindege neluk tese ji hena ene kange de sege tablam ji nyegres ngubu neluk hibuji chegores nangju ne tagores gyumse dere ngubu neluk ma hena ta karmago kari yarji sene chingubu ge tata sing kasimago kasi sönaya ngai khasang unje ge tamhe kabla hyejo ngane tingsang ge tuji de mangbu thong de hegdo tangbu hena that is artificial intelligence da chigre hibu shega chigdo ta supi juda gre dezo su on de jurgre dezo ngaje chimbo yodege mangbo chine gongda la da gong kukpare sha mangbo chine goti insendege tusu ke on jur che diyor tusu on jur chewal tine ta magje sumba libgire se tingsa ke je de de dutin sonje yugre se chingsa de we have right now more than declared 13,000 atom bombs, nuclear warheads. So the point that I'm making is the so-called technological development, science. I welcome science. But unfortunately, science, ordinary people don't have much access to science. They have access to technology. And they are controlled by the technology, the mobile phone, whatever. And then the so-called development, including artificial intelligence, I don't deny some of the benefits also. I'm not trying to throw the baby with the bathtub. But what I'm saying is, at the end of the day, these are controlled by the so-called rich and powerful people. Most of are unfortunately stupid. Because they don't have sense of responsibility. They don't really have long-term vision. On the one hand, they try to flex their muscle and through the atom bomb, this and that, but they themselves have prepared bunker to hide. Am I exaggerating? If they are so great, so brave, come in the battlefield. So therefore, when we talk about this importance of sustainability, spending a lifestyle that is sustainable, it's a wonderful thing. I'm not giving you a pessimistic, bleak picture. It's an uphill task. But at the end, I think my time is over. At the end, what I want to say is, it is important to give more information related to your very life. It may be costing your life. It's not talking about after 3,000 years something will happen. It's not like that. So therefore, when we talk about sustainability, many thinkers they say it's an urgent issue, not something that you should deal after a long, long time. It's an urgent issue. And we will understand that urgent issue only when we ourselves experience that problem, difficulty. The migi kange karisana soso rangla dunge chembochi COVID-19 soto dunge chembochi manyana ni segmentwa. COVID-19 ge ngazul hibuchi labje jabsunga. Tidu jakab yeba che mdoa tidu. Sayum jagundu jakab yeba che mdoa. Jada rangshin ge tentem ge yeba che gyo mare. Yeba chenge mi kukpa ngarasu. Cho karwore, cho nagbore, cho jangure, cho serwore, cho pure, cho pumore, cho jakab share, nubus yeba ngazu che digdwa. Jada ngazu nangshu nga nangane ta ngazu nyamle tumadu nesu khagare madogi. Pede kola chikjur tiksa hibuchi ke chakcha ji higorde kola chikjur kege mare nangshu na samlata nangshu ke majur semje thamje sego. Hibuchi klapshimbu ki duwa. Chidu ta ngazu ta gendu ba fomo nambasu de yore dishidu ngazu ke paksu ke shamdi shuege nangshu ke tadubti thone laglen thone shamji shuege mangbu yore. Tusu chik che godu samgado. Niwade 충자네 ngazu takba songdu janja sokeji janja hema de chene. 다네 송데 빵도 두고 말해 다네 송데 네 플라스틱도 싫어 배주 당게메스 다네 송데 가 샤세 용도 당게스 빵 쓰기메 네 빵 세데 각보래 로 대 용도 당게스 디직데 스테이지 고래 당고시다 네 다도 for example if you look at the fashion industry when we talk about this environmental degradation pollution then when think about this contributing factors just yesterday I was watching this awful situation in Sweden of the fashion industry. The dumping from the fashion industry is so overwhelming, they are not able to handle it. It's yesterday's news. Because you come up with all these cheap products of different designs, this, that, fashion, and then you dump it, all this. So there we need really more study and properly understand how this is more or less a life and death question. It's not like telling a fairy tale. So we need to understand that, and then accordingly, whatever steps we are able to take, we need to take it. During one of the Science for the Monks program, at the end of around the end of the project, we really made so many commitments. Do you have those photos? I was thinking that we should have it here also, but not possible this time. But that was you were there. We wrote so many small on piece of paper. We should do this. We should publish it and distribute it so that this will remind other people. Thank you.